And you're welcome back to The Pulse. Now, on Friday, there will be a big climate change summit right here in Ghana. It is the Youth Climate Summit, and we'll learn more about this program right now. In studio with me is Andy Okrah, who happens to be the president and founder for the Young Professionals and Youth Coalition, YPYC, and also Cedric Dzelu is the executive member, YPYC, and ambassador, Global Youth Climate Change. Gentlemen, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
And it's such a great time to see all of you. Let me save the best for last. So I'll start off with you, Cedric. Let's talk about this climate summit. So why the need to talk about climate change at this time?
Undoubtedly, climate change is disrupting life, and its impact is a topic for every discipline, the extent to which there is a global need to address the climate crisis. The Young Professional and Youth Coalition, an organization that has been spearheading the affairs of young people in terms of leadership and development for the past 10 years, has seen the need to galvanize and mobilize leaders, young people, in order to provide them the platform and the tool to come up with solutions to address the climate crisis. Hence, the need for this high-level summit that is bringing together the creme de la creme of Ghana's youth in school and in the professional area to come and profess solutions to the climate crisis.
Wonderful. Andy, for you, why Ghana, first of all? I think it's something we need to look at because there are so many countries out there that we could be having this conversation. Why Ghana?
Thank you very much, my brother, for the opportunity. And you've hit the nail right on the head. Ghana, because Andy and his team is in Ghana.
Right.
And I think we have to start from home. Even though we are doing it here, we still have the sub-region in perspective. We're going to have people joining and other young climate leaders from Togo. Others are also going to join from Kenya. We have South Africa, Nigeria, and others. But Ghana, because we, since almost over 10 years, YPYC is grooming leaders and tackling developmental needs. We've not done anything about climate change.
Right.
And we have come to realize that our sustainability, our existence depends on the climate. And why don't we focus on equipping our young leaders with the skills and tools to go into climate change in order to profess the solution? And so we decided this year we need to start something at home, because after COP26 we realized that young people need to be integrated into the climate action. So we decided that Ghana will lead and host. Unfortunately, we're able to get partners to be able to come to that. So that's why Ghana. And after that, I mean, it's zooming to all other countries.
We're all excited about that. But what's more fascinating has got to do with the theme for the event. You're talking about collective rules in addressing the climate crisis. Is it the case that the youth are not involved as much in issues of climate change?
Precisely. And as you know, I indicated that the past 10 years we are raising leaders, grooming leaders to tackle the challenges. But then the world global issue now is climate change. And we've not been doing that much because we are doing well in leadership, we are grooming transformational leaders. But if you groom leaders and the climate is not conducive, where are the leaders going to stay? So we need to do that. And from the team, we realize that we have our individual roles that need to be. Yes, governments are doing what they're supposed to do. Their intergovernmental bodies are doing, development partners are doing all these things. But the youth are not, there's a disconnect between the youth. There are other NGOs who are doing well, trying to do their bit. But the youth, because, brother, we realize that the youth and the young leaders are the current architect of the future. And if we are able, we are looking for solutions, innovative solutions, then we need to get these young leaders into the climate change action. And that is the reason why we've chosen the team that it should be a collective individual rules, collective rules, but then our focus is on the young leaders.
Obviously, I belong to that category myself,
Precisely.
So that's why I'm excited about the issue. But Cedric is also here, obviously part of that youth bracket. So when many of us, and I mean our colleagues out there, hear about climate change, there's this perception that this has got to do with only science and issues of that experts must deal with. Why should the lay average person, the youth out there, get involved in addressing this crisis?
You are spot on. Myself, when I first heard about climate change, I heard about polar bear, I heard about melting glaciers and ice, and they were not discussions that related to me or connected with my immediate environment. But growing up and taking more deeper interest in the topic, I've come to realize that climate change affects almost everything around me. Drought threatens food security.
Right.
Flooding threatens people's homes and source of living and livelihoods.
So it's not something that's far away from us,
So
right?
one of the objectives of this particular summit is to be able to relay the issues to the young people who intend relate it to their constituent. It is to bring the subject home for them to appreciate that, truly speaking, this is a topic that affects all discipline. That is why if you look at our list of those we have invited young leaders in science, in engineering, agriculture, in sports. We have invited journalists, of course.
Ghana Journalists
I should be
myself,
there.
I brought a letter here, and I should expect to see you.
Definitely.
You understand me?
Definitely.
So we have invited all crop of young people across the spectrum,
professionals.
Right.
with the idea that this is a topic that affects all disciplines. And for that matter, we need to confront our individual and collective roles. Your role as a journalist, my role as a sports administrator, and his or her roles in whatever capacity. So it is a summit that will be able to usher young people into the full spectrum of the subject and how they can make a contribution to the issue.
Right. Although the youth will be participating, Andy, and let me talk to you on that. We know that there are some experts in the field who need to shape and guide the conversation. Who are we expecting to join us as we have this summit?
We have a lot. I mean, the summit is in 3 parts. Right. We have the first part, which is the opening, and we have the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Yes, when it comes to the resource, then we have the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation also going to be there. And we have experts, the whole climate change in the US, looking after the fund, the Climate Investment Fund CEO, Melfielder, also present. We have an expert, a senior officer, World Bank, also there on the platform. Then we have the Chief Executive of Forestry Commission, Chief Executive of Cocoa Board. These are the senior level. Then we come to the experts. Then experts, you see young people, like we have Joshua, handling climate change. We have Gausu, handling, and there's a beautiful lady, Pat, also doing well in climate change. These are seasoned leaders. And of course, our global ambassador, Cedric, is also going to be there. When it goes to Forestry Commission, they are experts, young people, professionals there. These are all part of the... And British High Commission, the senior policy advisor on climate change, is part of the...
Very often when we're having conversations on climate change and all of this, the belief is that this is just a talk show. We're not contributing to national development. And let me start off with you, Andy. I'll come to you, Cedric, on that. How practical is this summit going to be in terms of contributing to national development?
In fact, that is the hallmark of YPYC. And if you even take my book I've written, Transformational Leadership, Walking the Talk. We are tired of the talk. We need to walk the talk. So this is, if you have attended any of our programs, I'm sure some of us here or people watching here have watched and participated. That is the only platform that you will see that is very interactive, very practical. So that is not going to be talk show at all. But then, of course, the talk should come. That is where you pick out the ideas. And the outcomes, you will see here, the outcomes here are going to shape policy direction. This is where we are going to use that because we're expecting innovative solutions from these young people, and then we'll put it in decision making. So it's not a talk. Even though you need a talk, it will come from the talk, but then very interactive, very productive, and it doesn't end after the summit. It's not a one-day thing. The summit is just to show off. After that, the procedures we take to ensure that they are integrated into the climate action is what we look like.
Cedric, if I'm a young person out there, what should be that motivating factor for me to step out on the day and then join you for the summit?
Your motivation should be that every generation is called upon to confront their own developmental challenge. There was a time that a generation was called upon to fight for our independence. there was a time a generation was called upon to ensure that we develop. Those were the days of industrial revolution.
Right.
And we have had generations that ushered us into the world of ICT, bridging the gap. Our generation today is confronted with the challenge of climate change. For that matter, every young person out there should be motivated that he or she is called upon to be the one to offer solutions, innovative solutions, to engineer the ideas that will be able to address the problem that confront our generation. It is having achieved this that you would be able to hit your chest and say that I have contributed to my time. That should be your motivation.
While we're talking about this, there are obviously ongoing national policies and programs that are targeted at the subject matter of climate change. Andy, for you, for instance, if you look at the Green Ghana initiative and the fact that we're planting more trees, are these measures enough, or there's a need for us to expand and to reach out to some more areas that we're not reaching at this moment?
Yes, I think we've started from somewhere,
okay,
because there are various adaptation and mitigation strategies, and one of them is making sure that our depleted forests, we reforest them. So the Green Ghana initiative is really one of the solutions that we need, and we encourage everybody to plant a tree. As for that, now, apart from desisting from cutting down trees, we need to plant more, so that is good. But there are others that we can do to also add up to that. Look at our environment. Look at illegal mining. Look at the issues. How do we tackle that? The environment itself, how policing alone is really destroying our environment. This has a huge effect, and we need to do more. So after planting trees, what about that pollution? The rivers, look at how we are doing. Look at what happened. When rains come, what the effect here in Ghana, if you think it's not climate change, you have not seen it.
Particularly in the national capital.
In the national capital, and that's what we are talking about. So we have to do a lot in terms of providing other solutions to this. And these solutions are intertwined. You need to have innovative ideas to solve them. And that is what we are pushing. We believe that the young guys are the people we should focus attention on. This is the people from the tertiary universities, and that can reform their minds to come out with ideas. So a lot more can come out from that. Now we can see people who are using refuse to do bricks and stuff like that. That is a way taking a lot of garbage from the system.
And we'll be getting that innovation much more from the youth.
And again, we're also trying to see the link of climate change and entrepreneurship in a way coming to address the unemployment issue.
That will be a very interesting aspect to explore, particularly when we know that the issue confronting this nation today, one of the challenges has got to do with unemployment and how many people now want to create their own jobs. How could this summits be of a great opportunity to someone who's out there and looking for that opportunity to explore? Good.
Before Cedric comes in, that's what you're saying. At the end, the third section, what's the last session, is the breakout session. That's where we're going to have two groups, one dealing with the policy direction, another dealing with the technical direction. And one of the subjects as a technical thing that we believe can solve the issue is entrepreneurship. And we have experts going to direct us and you will see other young people who have really innovated ideas that in a way has brought out enterprises that they are engaging themselves, engaging others. And that is what we want to focus on. So you can also come. Can we sit here and see somebody who can just come out and see that, okay, during drought time, we can do this. We are talking about irrigation. Somebody can think and say, drought time, how we can produce water to farm this. And that person produces that. And in effect, he's engaging himself, getting some enterprises, which will definitely recruit other people. And that discussion is going to
So there's actually going to be space for exhibition of these initiatives.
Precisely.
Private initiative. You're allowing that.
We are allowing that.
So
it's very interactive. We want to.
If someone has an initiative out there and wants to be part of it, is there an opportunity for them to reach out?
Reach out, because we're doing our best, and thanks to Joy FM, thanks to Joy News for this opportunity to reach out to many people. This is free occasion. Conference center is free. All that you need to just register, call our number. The number is there, or if you want to say it is 055-835-7200. You call these numbers and they will help you that you want to do this. It's open. We'll assist you to do that because we want to expose you to engage other people where you can bring out what is in you in terms of ideas and skills to be able to do.
But I'm sure that a lot of people missed the contact you're giving. So if you could just take your time, give us the contact, and many will be willing to take advantage of that.
055 835 7200.
Okay, once more.
055 835 7200. Or you can as well go to our social media handle, YPYC Ghana. Google YPYC Ghana. You can get all the information there. The link is there to get a number, the email, contact us, and you can be part of the summit.
I tell you what, you need to take advantage of that. Cedric, for you, I'm sure that you've been carrying out a number of private initiatives as well. And just before I come to you, what you see on your screens now is actually that summit, which will be happening on Friday, the 1st of April. So you need to be a part of it. It's from 9 to 4 p.m., 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So don't miss out. Quite a great number of people will be there, including the sector minister himself, who will be addressing the gathering. So we're talking all about that. Cedric is also here, one of the ambassadors. Tell us about some of the private initiatives, some of the things you've been doing as a group, just to push this agenda on ensuring that we deal with issues of climate change.
So we have sought for funding from a number of organizations to pioneer certain projects. For instance, at Okrah, a community that is mostly affected by flooding. And your station has been very good at that. I mean, sort of showing how people are vulnerable and often displaced throughout flooding. So we have a project in Okrah that is to carry out a mitigation approach to create some level of awareness of what people, household can do individually to ensure that the harm that comes to them as a result of flood is reduced. These are the basic stuff, getting to know about early warning signs, flooding, and how they can save part of their properties so that they don't face what we call stranded asset in terms of when there's flooding. Aside that, also we have put up a robust plan to go to the schools.
I was about asking that.
Like the president said, this is the inception. And beyond this, we are ensuring that we are taking this same approach, this same template to nearly all schools in Ghana.
And sorry for cutting through, but are you just targeting senior high schools or the basic school? How are you going about that approach? Right?
Yeah, so approach is one, we're targeting, first of all, leaders. After leaders, then we're approaching the schools, doing schools from secondary schools and then to tertiary. Then we'll do community engagement. So the community engagement will be in areas that are mostly affected by climate change. For instance, we saw news about how the community around the Keta, where wash away by the sea rise. And then the mining communities. We intend to engage the community, the folks there, to see how individually they can contribute to the mitigation approach. So mitigation simply espouse that how can we reduce the harm that is caused by climate change. Whilst government and big corporations think more about the adaptation stuff. Yes.
Wonderful. But we also need to shift focus a bit. Yes, we're talking about the youth, but Andy, you do agree with me that when it comes to the issue of climate change, some of the people who are even culpable do not necessarily find themselves in that youth bracket. So how are you scaling up education so that you're able to reach out to this sects of people?
Like you rightly said, in fact, our advocacy and education awareness creation is to everybody. To everybody, as you're doing, we expect to reach everybody with the news that let's focus on climate change effects and do something about it. But then we want to have a niche because YPYC deal with tertiary leaders. And our aim of grooming transformational leaders. And we believe that let's focus and get this critical mass of leaders, the SRC president, student leaders across board, get them integrated.
So you're influencing change through the school leadership.
Through school leadership. I was once SRC president. I know that if you want to do that,
you first
have to get them the right information. So we are doing that, and they will rather help us when we are going to communities. It's not just for the youth there, but we'd rather reach out to all the people in that community. So we will upskill the education, but this is our target. We want to get these student leaders, first get them to us, and we form that mass, then we'll push out them. That's the plan.
Let's talk about the future of this intervention, the Youth Climate Summit. This is for 2022. Are we likely to see any more activities in the coming days or years, if I should put it that way?
You're right, early. So after this particular meeting, there will be working groups that will be set up to look at the various breakdown thematic areas under the broad theme on climate change.
Right.
We have adaptation, we have mitigation, we have green financing, and a whole lot. So basically, these young people will be spearheading this agenda, mobilizing funding and ensuring that this funding is directed towards addressing the solution. That notwithstanding, we also seek to make input into the global solution. We expect to be in Egypt later this year to participate in COP27, where we would also, carry on the dreams and aspirations of Ghanaian youth to say, and from this summit to make input into that summit.
Don't forget, it's happening on the 1st of April. Briefly, because we don't have time, Andy, let me wrap up. Yes. I was just saying that, yes, definitely we're going to have 2023 edition. Okay, so it's happening next year as well. It's happening next year because we can't just use one. But then our focus, as we said, probably next one you will see us in Ashanti region. We'll go to the tertiary institutions over there, gather all of them there, go beyond and stuff like that. Then we can now, or we don't know whether we can also have in one of the sub-regions that we will do. But we want to sustain that, not the talk show aspect of it, but at the end of it, or the practical aspect that will come out of these summit will be what to be replicated. Right. Great initiative, Andy and Cedric. Thank you so much for joining us. I would say the next one should come to the Volta region. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. So that's it. It's about the Youth Climate Summit. It's happening on the 1st of April at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Do well to be there at the Okrah International Conference Center. But